One day, I was scrolling on eBay and I found this, a Canon Rebel XT for $1. So I placed the sniper bit at the last second and yes, I won it. So in today's video, we're going to see if it works. Alright, and 9 days later, we finally got the camera. Alright, and here it is, the Canon Rebel XT. Alright, so sick. Now we have the camera, but we don't have a battery, so we're gonna need to buy one. Alright, and here's the battery. Look at this. They gave me a Dexter resurrection box. I don't know why, I just think that's funny. Alright, let's open it. So here is a charger for it, and here's the battery. All right, cool. First, we're gonna test it out on the camcorder because, I don't know, it's a device I trust. All right, so the battery seems to be working. So now let's try it on the DSLR. Moment of truth. So if it starts up, that's a good sign. All right, so now we know that the camera works, but now we need some media to put in it so we can take some photos. Now the problem is, it doesn't take SD card. It takes compact flash, but that's no problem for me. I got a bunch of these adapters laying around. Now it's probably the best time to put it to use. Yeah, so it looks like it works perfectly fine. Up until this point, everything was going pretty well. The camera worked and it wrote to the card, but I didn't have a lens. So I did anything but get a proper lens for it. In the end, this was all pointless, but it's all part of the story, so I'll give you a quick rundown of what happened. The first thing I tried to make was a pinhole lens, which didn't work because this was the best photo I got out of it. Then I bought some 3D printed adapters for some vintage lenses I had, which also didn't work because the flange focal distance was all wrong. Then I bought a body cap and put a disposable camera lens on it, and it didn't work at first. It turned out that I just needed to open up the lens and mess with some stuff. And at last, I finally got usable photos out of it. So I went out and took some test photos with it. Here, I tried using one of my vintage lenses again with a 3D printed adapter, and to no one's surprise, it was out of focus. Then we briefly headed into the woods. This was the only usable shot I got. And these were the final shots I got. And after that, I headed home. I hate being sick. Now, this is where the video was supposed to end, but I got paid. So I went on eBay, found a cheap but broken kit lens, won the auction, yes, and waited. So we finally have a proper lens for the camera. Now, I know that this is broken, but I'm pretty sure it could still be used with the defects. But enough rambling, let's open it. This is an interesting choice of wrapping. And here is the lens. Now, because this is of the USM variant, there is no image stabilization, but it's whatever. All right, so now let's put it on the camera. Man, it's so nice seeing an actual lens on this camera instead of a freaking lens cap with a disposable camera plastic lens on it. So basically the problem with this lens is the autofocus does work, as you can see, but the aperture blades are stuck at 5.6, and that's because one of the ribbon cables in here are broken. But other than that, the lens works perfectly fine. All right, so let's go outside and take some photos, but this time with a proper lens. Later that evening, I went out and I took some test photos as the sun was setting. Unfortunately, I didn't get much out of this shoot, so this was the last photo I got. And now we're back inside. Let me turn on the light real quick. So I guess that's it. The camera works completely fine, and for $1, it's more than what I expected. Even though there's only an 8 megapixel sensor in it, the images that come out of it are still amazing. And they're almost film-like, though that might be stretching it a little too far. For the time being, I'm actually considering using this as my main camera for photography. I mean, it certainly is a downgrade from what I've been using, which is a Canon PowerShot SX130IS. But being able to shoot RAWs and having the ability to change out the lenses make up for it, in my opinion. Also, I would like to mention that the photos that I've taken on this camera and shown in this video were mostly unedited. Other than a few brightness adjustments here and there, most of the time you were looking at the actual raw files. But anyways, that's all the time I've got, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you for watching.